made sure
He
everything is
says,
recorded.
but I did this, I need to pay that. Okay, it's fine. Hello.
Hello.
Um, what's up?
Tired.
Yeah. How is it going live?
It's going.
Did you find something?
Yes. So I was just like reading the contract.
Ah, cool. But that's good news. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where in Cologne?
No, in Wuppertal. Yeah. But it's very spacious. So
Okay,
let's see.
that's good. Uh, nice. So is your brother already in Europe? He should be, no? You told me.
Yes, he's taking the train right now.
From so you're gonna meet him today.
Yeah.
Nice.
Finally.
Good. So when can you move?
Like 15th or something, I think. Yeah, I
Nice.
still have to figure out the logistics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you manage to send application by post?
Yeah.
Who asked to send these applications to do a digital residence by post? That's so absurd.
Well, if you're gonna upload it, I would say nothing, but no, no. I think it's just that they want my signature.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, I get it. Like I remember in Belgium when I did my internship with Motion Bank, I remember that I was like, yeah, almost I was at the limits with the dates because they needed to have these signatures
Mm,
from three stakeholders from the university, from Florian and from me.
yeah,
So, but in paper. So
yeah,
that was such a hassle because of the unresponsiveness of Florian.
yeah. No, I think these days, like sometimes I see people using what's it called DigiSign,
Yeah.
this platform. But I guess if they don't have resource to set that up, then they just ask for signature on paper.
Yeah, but we use that also because for always that has been always an annoying part of being one of the shareholders of PAF is that because every meeting and it's really important for PAF the meeting for the year because we allocate resources. Uh, every year we need to have quorum, which is half plus one to take decisions. Otherwise, it's illegal, and you have to propose a new thing because every year we show thanks to the lawyers who represent us as one as the CSA, and so that's has been since the beginning a pain in the ass because especially I guess I mean for me it's difficult to survive winter, so it's a period where normally I'm down and withdraw. So I don't want to answer to nobody nothing and they so say we start with this in 2017 and they needed this kind of you need the signature and then sending, so it is a yeah it is energy that you don't want to put in that,
Right.
and then if you don't do it then they start like doing path alike stuff and then just finding their way to get you, which I understand because it's not only you, it's like yeah it's 50 it's path, and so it's important, and I'm sure like because always at the end I mean I respond, and that was early in the beginning, like now we do with this thing that you were mentioning, how it's called,
DigiSign.
design I think, yeah.
Yeah.
But before I'm pretty sure like there was, that Martin is one of the people that I have never seen in one of the meetings. I also, I mean, I have to be honest, I have been only we
I know
have the
it's
CSA,
DocuSign.
but
It's called DocuSign.
DocuSign. Wow. But yeah, but that's way better than because I think they start with this 3 years ago. So because normally I mean I start sensing in my body when it's time for them to start searching me because every year it feels like I mean I know it, like in the back, with your own stuff. Like it will happen at some point, like somebody will reach you in some way. But then at some point, then it happens, I think 3 years ago, that was just doing this procedure, and what it was quite straightforward, so that makes. But anyway, it takes time. I have to say it takes time. So what I'm saying, and that is that if I'm somebody who is used to work with technology, and it stresses me out, like to allocate some little time to do something that I opt to be part of it, I can imagine to other people who have no relation with technology, and they don't want to have relation with technology. I can imagine that could be very annoying. And then maybe perhaps they would like still to send a signature by post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in Japan, it's very strict sometimes, often.
The paper signature.
Well, they stamp, but yeah, it has to be physical.
Ah, the stamp. Okay. So you guys have like you use a stamp every. I mean, you have a stamp, or
Yeah.
you signed.
Nowadays, I think there are some places you can sign, but basically you have to stamp.
So you need to then to make this stamp somewhere, right?
So there are like two kinds. Like one is like cheap one that you can buy it anywhere. So it doesn't make sense, you know. You can
It's a,
be
it's a
someone
generic
else.
stamp then.
Yeah.
Okay,
But then there's
interesting.
another kind that is more unique, I think. And that one you have to like it has to be like registered. And they will check that you're using the one that you registered.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah, it
more
makes sense.
legit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up? How is it going? But like, this, I mean, when are you doing this workshop in
Ah,
Hamburg?
yeah. That's in 2 3 weeks. Like yeah, 3 weeks. I'll be there for like a week, a bit less than a week, and give me workshop. I I'm supposed to do like mentoring. I don't know what it is, but I'll be mentoring someone, and then a workshop.
Nice mentoring.
Oh, I mentored you too.
Yeah, yes, true. It helped. It helped. I have to say it helped.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Well, no,
that
actually, you mentored me too in the academy.
helped.
Yeah, that helps.
But yeah, but mentorship was quite clear. I think your mentorship sucks. My mentorship was quite clear. I was there really focused to doing something specific. Um,
Like hired as a mentor to be a shit mentor.
no, I think your mentorship has been. I mean, as part of also how we deal here is like you. We are doing this, and the thing is more from my side. I guess comes this work this contemporary dance workshop where like I start going deep into my problems with you. Like this is this like sometimes psychologists like and they're like so in that I think that's the mentorship that I think your mentorship is still is going on in that sense.
What is it like a group therapy or what?
I mean it's but I guess it's a group therapy in the multiplicity that we are because it is in so many different spaces and times and personas because we change so much depending of what we do. And the good thing is like that we are comfortable in whatever space that we are, so physical or digital. That's why when because say for instance we were hanging out for a while since we met in Amsterdam, so there was quite some
Ah, yeah.
days.
Yeah,
So and
true.
still we managed to leave. Right? So I was surprised. I was thinking also that it's just
But that was how long? Like a bit more than a week, but less
I
than
think
10 days, no?
we met on Friday. No,
Yeah,
it was a week actually because we left on Friday
on
also.
Friday. Yes, it was week. Yeah.
So it was a week.
Mm.
It was a week.
I think a week is okay. Like Well, maybe 10 days is okay, and then if it's
I
like
think
two
depends.
weeks, it gets a little bit too
I think
much.
it depends of the space. I think it depends of the
Yeah.
space and depends of. I think it depends of. Say for instance, in PAF is fine. I think that would be interesting also to me to see. Like in PAF is fine. In a place like PAF is fine if we don't have something concrete. I don't think for more than 2 weeks because then after it can become, I guess, better or worse. But my experience is PAF just alone.
Mm.
Just alone is, and I have to spoke with this with Danny and other people. I think 2 weeks is like a good time to be in puff, but after 2 weeks, like then it's a bit you start getting into some. I mean, time it just changes a lot, and puff also corrupts somehow. Um, yeah, I mean, life is not like life is happens in puff, for good and wrong. Puff is a beautiful space for that because it's a very safe space,
Mm.
but at the same time, it's very intense. So there you go. Then after 2 weeks, I think personally, I think that is a strong to be there. Um, but so that's what when I came back, I was having this idea that let's say for I was when I was mentioning about workshops of new branches, then I thought like I was just more thinking the next time that we go to PAF or we have just to find more like the time, like to put it in a calendar so that we know to do our residence. Then we know that we are working in one or two or few aspects. Like this time we just went there because there was this. Actually, this is the third time you have been there. The first time you was there, I mean, it was in. How was the first time that you went there? It was after Hamburg,
No, it was after like we were in Essen.
after New Now.
Yeah.
But I went back home and you went to Cologne and we met there.
No, no, no. We went. I stayed at your place.
After New Now, you came here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And then we had that
performance,
non-existing train.
the non-existent train. Yeah, yeah. The ghost train, and, and this guy so surprised. Yeah, so but then the first time we were there and we were working on the performance anyway.
Right.
That time we were
Because
focused
that
on
was
work.
after Impulse. I mean, like the month or two before
True. Yeah, yeah,
before that.
that was like the 2021 that was quite busy for us. Like with
Mm.
we did a lot of things with best practices. So then we wanted to check the performance, the hybrid performance. We work on that. Um,
But we didn't really work on that. Like we did practices, but
I think, but no, we were. I mean, we did. No, we did work on the hybrid performance. Like I think we have 3 sessions.
I
Two of
think
those
so. Yeah,
we have 3 sessions, which is and you were there for a week also. No, you don't
yeah,
were, so that's a lot. And this our sessions were like 2 hours at least.
right.
So in a place like PAF where you know that you have to walking from your room to the kitchen can take you 10 minutes, and also you can get meet somebody and you never arrive at the kitchen. That happens
Yeah.
often because the house is so big. So then, so I think so. Anyway, I think we were working. We work on that. Then the second time you came there, it was basically the chaos theory. So
Right. That was
and
After Hamburg.
that was after Hammer,
Yeah.
with all this shitty thing of trains and things. Why always there
Planes.
is such a thing? There is always such a thing with puff. Like I'm fed up with that shit. Like that.
because because that was so funny because you were fed up with that and you took the flight, which was cancelled like twice or three times.
Yes, that's true. That's true because I arriving
Ah,
going to
yeah, that
Hamburg.
train was
I was
delayed.
super late. Yeah, I was supposed to be there in 11 hours, and it took me like 17 hours to arrive there in
That's
Hamburg.
crazy. Yeah,
That was
we had
crazy.
to reschedule because of that.
That was a lot. Ah, yeah, true. And so, yeah, but so then this in chaos theory, then we did a workshop because we came from Hamburg to present in a workshop. So we always like, so the first time we were in PAF and then we share this higher performance, it was because we perform in the impulse dance.
Right.
And then in September we give a workshop because we share a workshop in Hamburg. And it just came. I mean, we did not plan this. No, it just happens organically.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and this time just we came after the symposium of Lima, of digital art preservation.
Right. And then we did a cooking.
Yes, and then we did this time. So this time in PAF we did cooking. We cook in PAF. We cook at PAF. We live stream cooking. We live stream cooking.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh, I told Danny, and Danny was like, yeah. Because I saw Danny, we went to a party where I saw Daniel, this guy from the Kunsten Festival.
Ah, yeah.
And I saw all these people from, yeah, Bojana, and all these people from this field. All these, like, I'm one of the young ones. But what? Yeah, I want to say it. Oh, that I just saw Daniel and I remember. Wait, yes, I remember because I was a bit drunk and high a little bit. I remember, so I saw Daniel at some point. Daniel came to say hello, and then I think I started almost pitching my research about VR,
Okay.
because also before then, I mean, that week, now that I have news that I will do for 5 months this thing at the
Right.
academy, then I can relax a bit. But before already, I told you I was like, with my money was getting really low, so I was getting how thinking how to make it, yeah, how to keep on researching on this if I don't
Mm.
have funds. So then I saw Daniel, and I think automatically I was pitching that, and then Daniel listened anyway, but because Daniel is the director of the Kunsten Festival.
Right.
That's art. And then, but then he said like, oh yeah, but I reply you something. Like I remember when I did this. At some point, I sent an email that I think I sent it to you and to. I sent an email before publishing that I yet haven't published the article, the
Ah, right.
paper. So I sent it to three different networks. One was like Dance and Technology Network, other one was like Seeds, and other one was like art in general, like PAF
Mm.
and art, like performing arts. Um, and I remember like almost nobody answered. I mean, like if like which I was expecting anyway that you send like, and I mean you will know who will send something. So
Mm.
even if they cannot answer, they will say like I cannot answer. Like Scott took the time, like David did not. I mean, David said like, yeah, I cannot do it. Um,
That's nice.
you check. Danny also, she said like she cannot. Jan, Jan, she said that she will read it, but she did not. But she replied. That was nice. Um, and she remembered like because the last time I saw her in Hamburg, I forgot that I sent her that, and the first thing that she said to me is like, "Oh my God, I haven't read your paper." So she remembered that. I didn't remember what was that about. I remember that I was like, "What?" Like the night that we were drinking, like having these cocktails that you get so wasted. And so extreme. Now, when he gets drunk, it's so extreme, man. Like you're so extreme. Like because I know you're ready. Like but you're like, physically the way how you express is so what I consider, I guess, could be cultural. Is just so like a caricature. Like what I see in a way from, I guess, like my stereotypes of Asian people or like Japanese TV. Like you get really like physically doing some movement that like you will not do, and also your sound. you laugh. It's like people out there are a bit like, I don't know if you have heard that before, but like yeah, that happens when you are I mean, I guess like everybody when is drunk do their own stuff. But I this is just something that I was thinking that perhaps that's cultural, that
Yeah.
that you get into more Japanese mode to be you there when you're drunk. I don't know. But anyway, so that day you drank a lot of cocktails, like
What day was it?
that the date in Hamburg.
And in
That
Hamburg, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I think you drank like 5 cocktails. Like I myself,
No, not that much, but
yeah,
still.
yeah, yeah. Like myself, I drank 3 cocktails, and I think you went for maybe one or two more than me, and that's a lot of cocktails for a night.
Because those days I was just drinking. Like, I don't even remember which one. Like when we went to the bar or when we went drinking at the Kampnagel or like, anyways,
No, it was in the bar.
in
It
the
was in the
bar.
bar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was at the bar.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
I
anyway,
remember.
so I
Yeah.
think what I was saying is that so then I said to this to Daniel, like, and then Daniel said like, yeah, but I replied something and I completely forgot, and so
So actually, I was just looking for it. Like I was thinking, like, did I actually reply to it? I don't know, or maybe I texted. So maybe it's not the email. I don't know. But
no,
the
but I
thing
mean
is,
maybe you didn't reply to the email because it was just a
mm,
generic
mm.
email that anyway I shared with you, but you did read that and we spoke of that
Ah,
different
yeah,
times,
yeah, yeah.
and it
But
still was
what I
yes.
found is that you forwarded me the email from Daniel. So I have that.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. When I found it in my email, I found that it was in forwarded. Yes,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, please read it," because I think it's what he's saying is I was reflecting. I think it's relevant for like, yeah, now.
Okay. Dear Jorge, I write to you quickly. The festival is starting in just some days and I was a bit rushing around, but just wanted to write you back. Thanks for sharing this with me. I read it this morning, though it is not my field of expertise and it is maybe more difficult for me to write down comments in detail. I found the form of the research very interesting. There is a strong balance for me between the intimacy of storytelling in the form of a diary that goes on for weeks and the scientific form of the experiment. In general, the strength for me lies in your making visible how one cannot separate experience from its analysis. In this sense, the ambivalence between live annotations and post annotations was particularly interesting to me, precisely because it shows this adherence between the body and the image, the movements and the annotation, as if annotating is in itself a movement. With you all the best with the future research and the paper it might come out of it, and send you warmest greetings. Daniel.
That was great, right? I mean, like now after all this conversation that we have is like so on point. Like
Yeah.
it was wonderful. Like one of the things that I was like thinking when I read was this idea that he underlined about the experience. Like,
Right.
like one of the first things that we will think, like, while we reflect about academia, is like that you have to have this scientific clinic approach while I'm trying to make efforts to make objective, I'm trying to make it understandable what you put out. And then you go to those process of, yeah, peers and to review the paper basically.
Mm.
Um, and then that was one when we talked, and one of your proposals was like, hey, one of the ways how we can make this an article was let's perhaps do an interview, like do like
Mm.
kind of like an interview in order to make it pass as a paper. um, and it was still in this idea of like trying to make it feed, like make it a bit more liquid, from within the framework of a paper. And I was thinking that what he when he says that wait, where's my email? In my email now. Why? This one. So what I was saying just now is about the form, basically. In the email already, when I'm sharing, I said that this is a paper in the form of a journal. What I'm
Mm.
saying with that is like I'm excusing myself, like to call this a paper, basically, because it's being written in the form of a journal, right? And then he said this here. I found the form of the search very interesting. There is a strong balance between the intimacy of storytelling in the form of a diary that goes on for weeks and the scientific form of the experiment. In general, the strength for me lies in you making visible how one cannot separate the experience from its analysis. And this is all what we have been talking in this framework, the chat, when I'm sharing these ideas about complexity sciences and the strength of the experience, which is something that in the scientific approach is has been classically avoided. Like you always have to be objective. Like the personal experience doesn't count as, yeah, it has to go through the scientific procedures.
Yeah, and I think what he mentions is like something that touches like where, like how one can like find or establish a methodology to kind of analyze or like uh, to think about this subjectivity, because as he wrote, like, you can't really detach them, right? Because you are the one doing, and then you are the one writing, so
Right.
it is over like, you know interconnected, intertwined. And then, but also, that's, as you said, it's something valuable, has to be documented. And then, like, how, like, it's like more like a question that you're proposing, like, how can we establish a methodology, or like, probably there is no one single methodology for this, and then, like, how can we continue doing this, basically.
But and this is what it brings us to our conversation about like archiving and documentation.
Mm.
Then, because as you said, like for me was a first, like that was the first time that I was doing this, and I think it was ignited just because I was in Motion Bank. I think yesterday I have a conversation with David, and then one of the things that we were speaking was talking about this, basically that this yeah, the fact that now I am in this place where I'm considering very much the idea of archiving and documenting as a what in a way is like the back end, not yeah, like that could be technically, but not. I start seeing this idea of a backend also as a conceptual framework that helps to understand to some things. So yeah, I think this to start thinking about these processes was because I was doing my internship there, and although nobody helped me because we were like, this is an inside joke that we have there, that basically I was alone and only with like, yeah, but it was that's the way how they need to work, because that's the way how that institution works, because the institution, as is the other institutions that we saw in Lima, they are three people, four people. A motion bank is that kind of institutions, so they cannot provide this kind of like accompaniment. So
It's so funny, at the symposium, like, everyone was saying like how many people are working full-time in that institution.
yeah. Yeah. I talked yesterday also with the director from the IT institute in Berlin in the morning, and yeah, and then she was the same thing. Like there are three people at the end. Like literally, like I don't know why there's these three people: the person who represents the technical thing, and somebody who does anything in between.
Everything else.
Yeah, and then of course they have their but what is interesting is like they have, I think motion binding we can say that is like we can analyze this and dismantle it like to understand also the other frameworks, like because motion bank now what officially it has is David, which is the official representative of this. Florian also is part of the research project, and Anton, which is like the tech guy there, and other workers. I think they still have like up to 7 or 8 people who are paid. I don't like, yeah, between half time and full time,
Mm,
which is just kind of a big thing because they're handling different projects, no?
right.
And they are so entangled with so many different things. Like I just heard different things yesterday. Like they're doing also. There will be a new CCL, by the way, in Cologne.
Oh, really? When is it?
Yes. In the days where Ars Electronica is, so I was like, so I will see, because
Like
I was.
sometimes like September?
Isn't wait? This is in September. Hackers and designers. Ars Electronica CCL is 6th till the 10th, from Wednesday 6th till the 10th of September. And I wanted to use already part of my budget with the academy
Mm.
to go to Ars Electronica.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they were asking. Yeah. So maybe, I mean, I think I probably will do the CCL, I guess. I still have to negotiate with them how I can get paid this time, because then the first time was the GPU, and then that. So now I have to see how. Yeah, but this is, I mean, this is part of, this is public, so this can be published also, because this is known for like the people who knows us. Yeah, that's part. Like I was also reaching to some of the extended network that I have met through Motion Bank. Like part of that is like Dance Digital. um so basically telling them, yeah, it's cool, I do research for them, and I can, I'm as an associate, but I don't get paid. So please help me, because I need money to do the research. um yeah. So but yeah, so what were we talking about? Archiving.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Ah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
lost
So
my.
like this thing, like the so I did. So I wanted to, and also it took me a while to find out what the heck I was going to do in Motion Bank. But then I find out, and that I will start researching the VR. I
Mm,
mean, it took me. I did an internship there 4 months, and the first month I didn't know what to do. There was a CCL in Berlin.
right.
Then I came back to Brussels. Then we were working in some stuff virtually for a week, and then I was giving artifacts to Florian based on data that he was giving me.
Mm.
Basically, different documentation media form from the project of In Between Us. And then I was proposing him some artifacts. He was checking them, as he was just often then
I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. With touch
then he was
designer,
telling me,
you.
and then he was telling me this idea. He would start like introducing this idea of like affordance, and he was sharing this with me. Like, yeah, because he was very relaxed, like, yeah, whatever, like, by just thinking what are these artifacts affording, and that was something that it took me a while and I guess I'm still processing this kind of ideas of affordance. And then only and then I go to the studio, and I guess only after, no, I think from the first week, at the end of the week, he was asking me, hey, why don't you test the VR headset? Why don't you make it work with the and then I make it work with Touch Designer, and then from there I start working on that. Um but what I'm saying is, like, then before that, I guess from the beginning I was documenting, like, having in my head, like, because in my school they were asking me to have a journal also to
Mm. Ah, yeah,
document
yeah, true.
my. So then I have to, every day you have to form, like, they have this structured horrible Java platform that you have to put every day what you're doing and which skills are you using, active, passive, and all these things. And then, so during that process, then I was having also this document when I was like doing more my reflections. And at some point, I guess I started getting more. organic, and then just at the last 2 weeks I start working with these ideas of annotations and scores. And we have one chat in mind when you visit me, when we were talking of this, and I remember it was really late at night, and I guess I was,
The
and
one
I
with the
felt
plushie in the background.
there was some cow. No, so
Yeah,
what?
I just remember that. Yeah,
There was some cow. I remember like a big cow or something.
yeah, it's like from Milka or something.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
right. That's the
yes,
only thing I remember.
yes. And then we were checking then the Pathfinder from Mio, because I found that also from the files that they have. Um, and then yeah, then we have this conversation really late at night again, and then we start talking about annotations and
Ah, yeah.
scores, and then what was like, and then we were trying to find out what is like the difference between what are annotations, like yeah, what are annotations, and then we just uh yeah, I was
What
trying to
started
get,
fighting?
not fighting, we couldn't find, I mean, I guess I was trying to share what was in my head, I guess, what I thought was clear in my head, but then also, so then you could not follow, and then so we stay in that space for a while until we said, you know what, it's too late, let's just close this, and then just we move on. But I think that was one of the longest chat, like we have to check, because I think it was like almost 1 hour and a half,
Oh
like
wow!
that was a long chat.
How do you even record that? I'll check where it is.
uh
Yes.
I remember that chat. We should go. I was by chance, I was just finding, we have so much content, and we have so much stuff. There is so
Yeah.
much material that we have, that we just need to approach in certain ways. I just found also, yes,
No, it's just like 1 hour.
it's 1 hour. Okay,
One
it
hour and
felt
2 minutes.
like 3 hours.
But it felt like that.
It felt
And I
like,
think I was wearing this actually.
yeah, you're very bluish normally anyway, so that's not a surprise. But wait, um, do you have something to say about? Oh, what the fuck? Who's calling me?
About annotations.
You would like, yeah? No, don't go there. uh,
But about what?
I don't know. I
About
don't know.
next CCL?
Like CCL, it's nice. It will be in Cologne. It will be. I think it will be in the University of Sports.
Oh, okay. We know someone who's studying there.
Yeah. So I already I asked him. Do you know? Do you, maybe uh, could be that she was pushing this. Uh, like so it's, and also, but also they got some requests from your school. There are
Oh,
some people who wants to work with some VR stuff.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. Like if, well, I mean, I'm not saying me, but like when it becomes really institutional, then I don't know how to navigate through that because
yeah,
then it's more functional, huh? Like people
yeah.
doing
That's
this,
the
people
place that
doing
we are
that.
right now. Because the problem is, so we I was talking yesterday with David, is that, so we have to do a CCL because it's part of the Vorstans project.
What
Vortan, you know this,
importance?
Vortans
I
is,
mean,
that's the new. I mean, that's the 4.0 version of Peacemaker.
okay,
Vortans, Vortans,
importance. Okay,
Vortans. You saw it?
yeah, I found it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's the project that is using artificial intelligence, but it's basically just
Okay,
a new take on Peacemaker. But it's, yeah, I mean, I tried at Berlin, and it has new things that, but at the same time, then you lose the ability to put use online material like YouTube, for instance,
okay,
because of the content. So they safeguard the way how they, because it's because of European laws of privacy. Um, so the way how to make sure that they are not infringing any law is by not allowing you to use these URLs from YouTube, for instance. So then
Okay.
you have to upload videos. Uh, so it changes completely the thing. I mean, just that. I remember when he told me that, just that thing, I stopped when
Mm.
I heard that you cannot use YouTube videos. I said, oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, I have all my content is in YouTube. Uh, yeah, so they have this project that is running until 2024, and the problem is that it was proposed to do CCL. That was part of the project.
I see.
So it has to be done. We think, I mean, it has to be done within that framework. But then we are trying to avoid to go in this hole that I mean, we experienced this thing in Berlin when we have this CCL that it was within the framework of of the institutional whatever it was of the designing academies in Germany. Um, and that was a disaster. That was a disaster.
I
Um,
can imagine.
yeah, there was this CCL in London, close to London, in summer. That was apparently was great. That was Mark Downey was there, like
Mm.
Mark Cogli was there, like the guy from Isadora was there, like there were yeah there was it, like the artifacts they produced is very interesting, and the focus was again was AI because that's what motion bank is right now. So now what we are is like we have to do this CCL in Cologne. So of course there are these partners. One is the School of Dance, and then I guess from some people they heard people from your school and from the School of Sports also. Um, then is we need to think in how to make it work in a way that is interesting for us to do that. I mean,
Mm.
especially
Yeah.
for somebody like me that I'm not being paid, so I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go there if I don't have to. If it's a horrible experience, right? So why am I gonna do there if it's bad? I better be in Art Electronica and use the money from the academy,
Yeah.
right?
Makes more sense.
So yeah, that's the place that we are, and we have to see how to do that.
Surprise we are. But you don't. Yeah, but because you don't have to be there, right? Because it's not
No,
like
that's
no,
not mandatory for me because I'm not
no.
part of the payroll. That's the way who I start reaching to some of these people that I have met through the network of Motion Bank. It's
Mm.
basically that because I live in Brussels and that they are there, I can use and we are interested in keep on working, but I need to find the money basically to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's great because also if I would be an employee, also I was thinking of that. Like I think I wouldn't like to do that. I wouldn't like to be an employee. I'm like of Motion Bank.
The
I
motion banker.
no, I like no because then I will have to have Florian as my boss and that already have that as a mentor. Already have that experience for 4 months. Uh, So I think like I really like my position and being free, as you said, like from the institutional framework.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and then also we are there in better conditions from both sides. Um, yeah.
Yeah, but like if so, there's like how to say it would make sense if we can take something out of CCL, right? Like I don't think I would be there to like make animations. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, I just because I guess like the reason why our school's involved is there's like people doing animations. So
Okay.
I guess that's like a
Okay.
package.
I think like what I heard specifically that they're asking for you, what I thought I could help is that because I'm the one who has experience working with VR there in Motion Bank with that system. Uh, is that um, is that they basically I mean from what they pitched to what David pitched to me is that they want to do a telematic performance, I guess, or start exploring. The one person is in the VR, in the motion capture system, like doing whatever, and then other persons experience that in VR. And I mean, and then nuances in between this telematic performance.
Mm,
I think that's the key thing, which I'm very interested in, because anyway, that will be my research in I will be researching how to share content of that kind in Dortmund. So I will be interested in check what is it that they want.
right. I mean, it could be also interesting, like if, for example, if we can do a workshop, but I don't know if that's really like not aligning with what they do, but somehow like if there's like any overlap of interest, because it doesn't have to be the way we did the workshop. We could think about something else. It could be also archive. Then it's more relevant.
Yeah, we have to see, like, because as I said, like, it's very blurry at this moment.
Yeah.
I have to see how what will be the call out, basically, because from what I get from the conversation with David yesterday is that motion bank don't want to do it. That's what basically that's so true. Like David and Florian, which are both the ones who work like, not the most, but the one who have to handle all these things. um, Scott just appears as Congress and he's just around, and you don't have to deal with the practical things of that. I realized that when I was in Mainz, like, because still people know motion bank, and when I talk in Europe when I'm traveling and then I share a motion bank, people think in Scott, nothing Florian, like
Mm.
most of the people. But and so when Scott goes to a place like Dance Congress, then he will be doing his stuff as professor, but then we were working with Florian at the studio,
Mm.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, every day from 9 to 5. I mean, at the yeah, in the studio, like the motion capture place and stuff. So why you couldn't manage to go to to Dance Congress? You were in Europe,
I
right?
was like presenting that thing at Dortmund.
That was the last week for you, right?
Well, like last month, so like last weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
I also thought about like why I couldn't come to Berlin was because I was at Tanzhaus in NRW.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
when I remember that when we were doing the application for Suratomica, that I checked the AYA,
Ah,
because then I remember AYA that was happening in Berlin. You were not there.
but
Yeah,
we met in Cologne. I guess that was the time.
yeah, 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 yeah.
When we
Exactly.
went to maybe
Then
changing train.
I give you the computer. Yes. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. And yeah, so wait, so what I got from that David is like motion bank don't wants to have anything of workload extra,
yeah. Mm,
uh, and that's clear, because motion bank is not getting paid, and then I could include myself there because we are not getting paid for that. So motion bank has to do that thing. That's why it has to come out with the frame, with the something that it works.
mm,
um, and the easiest way to like make it work is through the institutions that already they are partnership of the network.
yeah.
um, so we'll see how
But
we
like
can.
just write to him like if there's something that I could do like random workshop that doesn't have to be good, but more like a testing, then I would be, even if I'm not paid, well, I would like to be paid, but if there's no money, maybe I could do something in that
But
way,
again, that depends of like the framework they want to propose.
right?
They Do they want to do like a call out? Like, I don't know what they want to do.
No, but
I don't.
even if it's with like the other university or like Hochschule students to,
Yeah, but I don't think it will be like through the school. I don't think it will be to the school. I don't think there will be. I think there might be some students that might be selected in some process. I don't understand how, but that's what I'm saying, that because has to go, I guess, pretty much through Florian.
mm,
Like, he's the one who needs to think, I guess, Uh, I guess he would like to invite some people. Florian is working nowadays very much about AI and about adaptable grid systems. What I share with you some,
The Moses kind of
yeah,
idea.
yeah, exactly, like so advanced of these things. So that's where the place where he is, and I think he will be interested in sharing. I guess there is some people getting that knowledge from him through maybe through the university. I'm not sure of this. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there should be some people close to Motion Bank if there are not people who are working there, but could be like researchers in Mainz University who are working on this idea of flexible grids with him. And I think he wants to take some of these researchers and then invite them there. Uh,
Okay.
so I think he still one big part of CCL will be focused. No, I think the focus, not big part. The focus of the CCL again is AI, as has been the previous in June and the one in Berlin also was AI because that's where the money is coming from. Yeah, yeah. So we have to see like how. But I'll let you know anyway how
Yeah.
what happens.
Cool.
And it's in Cologne anyway. It's in Cologne anyway. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe we should start using AI like to randomize. Like this is another conversation that we have to talk, but not right now. Like there is. Do you know like did I tell you this? Like AI, the GTP3 was already banned in Italy. It's banned
Ah,
already.
yeah. What was it?
What do you mean? Like
What's the story? I heard
like
somewhere. Is it you?
so the government of Italy is right wing, like extreme right wing, and as part of this intelligence, intelligent government, then they uh, among things saying things like they banned already. They banned meat produced in labs. That's part of a campaign that the government is apparently doing on protecting Italian food. Like no, not protecting is like protecting Italian food from advanced technology advances,
Okay.
and that's coming from the government, like that wisdom. Uh, Seriously, like so of course, like yeah, that's a populist government anyway. So they're doing these kind of things, and among these things, they just start saying like, okay, no, more use of chat GPT-3 in Italy. So it's illegal now. And they are also planning to even prosecute if they tested you're doing certain kind of things. Weird. So like there is something going on like with seeds, like there's interesting threads of communication threads of about like people start rambling when they heard this news because some of people from the network are Italians. So and then I couldn't believe it really. I was at night and I was like that's very. I mean, I just hope like that's not spreading in the whole European Union. But
Yeah, I remember where I saw it. That was like on the news on the board outside when I was walking. Like I saw that news.
in Germany.
Yeah, in Cologne. But it's just like this gray weather and people like the news about ChatGPT is like so dystopian. So I like this photo.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Sure. Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, so there's an interesting communication thread following that from the Seeds network. Um, I share also with you this link of so they start sharing things. Um, Among those links, there was one that I thought it was interesting that I shared with you. This website where they basically have this the future tools IO website.
These curated tools, or not curated. Maybe it's just like a
I,
database.
I just open it now again. is, yeah, I guess the feature tools collects and organizes all the best. Maybe I just gonna share my screen. Chrome, title screen.
The best AI tools.
So can you see this? Can you see my screen?
I see myself. Yes.
Okay. So then future tools collects and organizes all the best AI tools. So you, capital letters, too can become superhuman. AI detection for fun, just for fun. Image scanning, productivity, text to speech. That's basic. That's the main the whole revolution thing. Aggregators, gaming, inspiration, prompt guides. Interesting because this is about this, right? Text to video, interesting. Avatar generative art, marketing, research, translation, chat, generative code, motion capture. Self improvement, video editing, copywriting. This is interesting. I have been willing to explore this avenue, but haven't. Generative video, music, social media, video, uh, voice modulation, and finance, image improvement, podcasting. Wow, speech to text. Free. Let's see if there are less. Premium, GitHub, Google Colab, open source, paid. I want to see motion capture. Let's see. Movni. What is this? That seems like a
Never
free
heard.
software for motion capture to create 3D animations. Okay. 3D keyframe animation. Rococo, the Rococo Studio is great. Have you tried this one?
But that's like the you have to wear it.
No, no, no. This they have a studio. So they have
Okay.
a framework for it's called Rococo Studio where you
Oh.
can products. Ale, Rococo Video, sorry. It's quite good actually.
Oh
It's
well.
quite
Yeah.
good. It's quite good. Yeah, because I tested and yeah, that's a mess. Like this is the kind of I hate things from Macs. I have other things to say about it. I'm not gonna say it over there. But it works very well in Windows. It's
Mm,
quite impressive to be honest. Like I really test like diagonals, like yeah, the places normally you will lose the
mm,
reads, and it's quite okay. It's quite okay because use it will start getting your body and then estimate even if you are not in front. It will estimate your body quite
okay.
accurate. But the problem is of course is that it's not real time.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, so that's to create videos.
Like a rigging.
Yeah, rigging just to use this in Blender or yeah.
Yeah.
Teachable machine, train a computer to recognize your own images, sound, and poses. I
That's
haven't
more
heard
like a
like
tool for like creative
mani-
coding.
it seems more like yeah, like to manipulate your computer with gestures. Seems to me like
No, it's
machine
more
learning.
like you can teach it, but then like you can use it for other purpose. Like it's not like contained in itself. Well, in a way, you can use that as a module for something else for P5JS or like yeah, it says P5JS.
Wait, let's check what it says.
By the way, I don't hear sound.
So it's a framework, like yeah, that's a website, I guess, where you
Yeah.
can.
So like I think the idea originally it was like it's a hassle to import this kind of thing directly in P5JS or other tools. Oh,
Oh, I hope you didn't miss, like, did you lose the recording?